Said the mama to the baby in the corn. You are my firstborn. Yes, you're yawning below is the spotlight kid. In the morning cry the rooster, the baby lay alone.
Captain Beefheart was the stage name of an American singer and multi-instrumentalist whose birth name was Don Glenn Vliet. He was the leader of the Magic Band, which was a band that had quite a bit of turnover of different members. And he's well known for being a friend and sometime rival of Frank Zappa's. He started his musical career in 1964. He produced an incredibly well thought of album called Trout Mask Replica, and several other albums, of course. He retired from music in 1982 and became a painter, and became financially more successful as a painter. He died in 2010. Hi, my name's Dan. So normally when I review an album, I tend to listen to it twice, and if I don't know the album, then my process is to try and listen to it without context first, then find something out about it, and then listen to it again in context. Now, I've had a problem with this album because I've got some context, because I have previously heard Captain Beefheart's very well known album Trout Mask Replica. In fact, I reviewed it a few years ago for a different format, and I really didn't like it at all. So I was starting from the basis of having heard an album that I really didn't like, which is very avant-garde and very unusual in lots of ways. So the first time through, I was a bit surprised by the album. I didn't really get it because I was expecting it to be more avant-garde than it really is. The second time through, having read a bit more about it, I was a bit more settled and probably had a better listen in that. It's the only album of Captain Beefheart's that's credited just to himself, so it doesn't mention the Magic Band, but actually the band is the Magic Band that is being used. And from my reading, I found out that it was deliberately different to their previous two albums, one of which was Trout Mask Replica, because they hadn't been very successful commercially, so this was an attempt to be more commercial. And the band themselves particularly thought that, in retrospect, that the album was slow and ponderous, and quite a few of them seemed to not like it very much. So I would say that slow is a reasonable adjective to be used. I think the other adjective to be used is blues, because it's most definitely an album of blues music, I would say. Kind of eclectic still. It's not mainstream blues. It reminds me of Tom Waits. I don't know if you've come across Tom Waits, who tended to kind of push the limits of the sounds that are used in blues and jazz. There's some standard instrumentation here. There's guitars and drums, bass, etc., harmonica, all these things you'd imagine for blues. And then there's marimba and harpsichord, which is unusual. And in fact, the use of the marimba and harpsichord particularly reminds me of some of Frank Zappa's stuff, where he uses marimbas and xylophones and things like that quite a lot for kind of sweetening up the tone of the music. So you can kind of see, somebody's influenced somebody here in the way things are used. His voice is very gravelly. Again, reminds me of Tom Waits in that sense. And I have to say, overall, actually, I really quite enjoyed it. As an album of blues that's quite quirky and unusual, it was fun. Do you know this album? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. That's it from me for now.
One going and the other one coming back. There goes my baby on that old train. I say, Come back, baby, come back. Click, clack, click, clack.